Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you, of course, by Because Bitcoin. Guys, a reminder that there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. Welcome, guys. I hope everybody had a fantastic start to their week. Yesterday on a Monday, we kind of carved out a pretty large trading range for the week, right? Bitcoin more or less has been kind of sustaining above the pump that it had just about a day or two ago. So I think we have a pretty nice context to work with, but we'll get to that here and more in just a second, guys. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max, Tucker, Jackus, and Dr. Will's Outlook. We got a full panel for you guys, which means, we've been slacking on the like button the last few shows. I would love to see you guys destroy the like button today, annihilate it today, squeeze the like button today. Any adjective that you have to use to personally justify it to yourself, do it to the like button. I promise we will provide the alpha today. We're bringing the heat. Happy Tuesday, guys. We got a full panel. I would love to see us run it up to triple digit likes today, guys. And I know that we absolutely can. We always have more than triple digit listeners. So let's hit the like button that many times as well. But yeah, no, it means a lot to us when you guys engage and enjoy our content. But yeah, to set the stage for the market, not too much has changed since yesterday, right? Like I said it kind of a few minutes ago, Bitcoin has kind of set the stage for the week in that it gave a huge squeeze up. It's consolidating now, and now it's kind of, waiting to give us a decision. Are we going to have another FU candle to the upside? 45, 46, 47K maybe even, or are we going to continue to see sideways price action, possibly even a pullback from this market here over the next few days? I think you could make a compelling argument towards all of these. But quite frankly, I would say my bias at this point, given the extreme momentum that we've had at present, would probably be further upside, right? I think contextually speaking too, and we've talked about this as well, potentially engulfing the grayscale Bitcoin spot selling, or at the very least, the bleed that occurred in the week after the ETF launch would be huge from not just a context standpoint, but also a psychological standpoint, right? Think about the perception of strength in the market if you are able to essentially engulf billions and billions of dollars worth of spot sales, but it hasn't happened yet. We are coming up into that pinch point where I would say it's probably decision time for market participants to decide whether or not they want to, if we are going to just eat up those grayscale sales, I do think we're probably getting towards that pinch point where you are at risk of squeezing back towards new highs. But we haven't flipped it yet. We are showing strength into the level. And I think, especially with the behavior that we're seeing this morning as well, I think strikes a bullish slant, at least on Bitcoin here locally, given the fact that you've had Bitcoin being held up in a very shallow range while you have some of these altcoins bleed out, especially after some of them had pumped over the Asia and London sessions. But I think that's the landscape for crypto here today, guys. And for equities, it's, nothing too different has changed yet, right? We had our QRA meeting, and maybe we can talk about that later on the show, as it obviously had a huge impact on markets. The last time we had one back in October, it literally set the bottom as it very much triggered risk on conditions. The dollar does look very bullish, so I would like to talk about that as well, guys. But welcome. Happy Tuesday. I used to say when I was in high school that Tuesday was my least favorite day of the week because, Monday you at least get to start the week with like this emphasis to succeed. But Tuesday, it's like you still feel like you have the whole week ahead of you. We're going to change that today, guys. We're going to smash that like button. We're going to have a great day. But what are you guys seeing in the markets today?
Hey guys, I am not bullish on DXY, to be honest. I'm very bearish, but I suppose it depends on the time frame we are looking at, right? Because I think DXY is heading down to 97, 96 area still. Risk on period is not over yet, and this drop is to happen. It is what it is. If you are bullish on DXY, you are essentially bearish risk on assets. But again, it's always about the time frames, so it depends what we are looking at.
I would agree with Jackus. I'm not bullish on DXY. I think locally it could move up a little bit higher. I could see it taking out that previous kind of shoulder. Yeah, basically like 104.50. I could see a sweep above there. Yeah, something like that, Tucker, and then down. But I would not be super bullish DXY here. I don't think contextually it makes a whole lot of sense. I'm actually very bearish DXY. I think that if you zoom out, Tucker, we could talk some levels that I'm potentially going to be keeping my eyes on. Yeah, maybe if you could zoom out. I mean, I think we could probably retrace down to like, I'd say even sub 95, truthfully. And I don't know. I mean, there's a very clearly defined range low that was set at 80 something, upper 80s. So yeah, I mean, I think that's an obvious level, but that's the more obvious level, right? So I don't think it goes straight down there, but I think if you actually zoom out a little bit more, Tucker, maybe go to like the 3-day or weekly. Yeah, so look at our range high, like pretty clearly defined range high as well, down to the left. So that's a deviation in my opinion. Yes, but actually start it to the right, maybe. I mean, that's fine too. Yeah, I was just thinking like there. So within there, we're going to have big bounces, but in my opinion, that move that we saw last year up to 115, 117, whatever it topped out at, I think that's probably going to play as a deviation, and we're working on reacceptance back into this range.
Let's see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this, and actually, I would expect a deviation now to the bottom side of that range. You guys know how much I love range theory. Symmetrical deviations. It plays more times than it doesn't. So I actually think we could get something like this over the next year and a half or so. But I mean, locally, yeah, 104, maybe even 105. But I mean, I'm expecting us to go much deeper here for DXY.
I was promised 33K, and with haste. I'm still waiting.
I don't know who promised you that, but I don't know. You should talk with them.
I was promised 120 on DXY and 125, and the dollar milkshake theory. Where are all those people now? I'm asking. Everyone promised me.
Yeah, I mean they lied to you. It's a damn shame, isn't it?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
They told me they were going to the store to get a gallon of milk and never came home. Reminds me of real life events.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, guys, I actually think that crypto looks pretty good here. I mean, I know we're talking about DXY and they're very correlated, right? Like if you look at Bitcoin's movements up and down, usually they're inverse to whatever DXY is doing. But I was talking with our Discord about this morning, and I'd like to have a public conversation about it with you guys because it was more me giving my thoughts rather than a conversation. But actually, let me just double check my mic is. Yeah, we're
no, that's working.
I was talking about this idea. I hear people say all the time, I'm waiting to buy the scare or the shakeout, whether it's before the Bitcoin halving or after. I want the scare, I'll buy the shakeout. But until then, you better be careful. And the way that I look at this is I think we already had the scare. There's very much so a case to be made for the shakeout that we just had, which again was a big one. Maybe it didn't feel like it, but it certainly was. Okay. We were down over 20% in 2 weeks. So the way I look at it is where I believe we are in the cycle. I think that was probably your shakeout. And that doesn't mean on the lower time frames we can't come back and maybe pressure the lows a little bit. But I think that was it. I think this has a really solid chance of being it, where this was your shakeout. Going back throughout the past year, you can see that most of our shakeouts were about 20 to 24%. Okay. We're not in an environment where Bitcoin has the capacity while being in a structured uptrend to nuke 40% or 50% anymore. We didn't see that last bull market, and I don't think we're going to see it this bull market. It can, in a bear market, it can draw down over multiple months and years, 50, 60, 70, 80%. But I'm talking about locally structured uptrends like we've been in for over a year. we don't see 40% drops anymore. Bitcoin is not a $500 asset. So when you see an asset that's trading at 50K almost pull back 21.5% in 2 weeks, that's a big shakeout. You know, that might be your pre-halving shakeout. So I've got a lot of like higher time frame charts that I'd like to talk about, but I mean, what do you guys think of this being sort of it? You know, this is that shakeout that people are allegedly wanting to buy, but they're stubbornly refusing to accept that there is diminished volatility, and they're not going to get their 45% drop like Bitcoin used to give us in 2015 through 2017.
Max,
I just need to put
I
their
want to
head
do
out
the
of their ass.
I want to do the actually meme real quick. You know, the actually guy.
Actually, yeah.
You know, we did have this, right? Let's not forget. You know, we did draw down 77%, but I think there's a good case to be made that we're right in this green box, man. I really do. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to go into, but similar pullback, similar test.
I do not think I have to stop you there, Tucker. I do not think we are there because that one was right below all-time high. So this one would have to be, you know, at like the pullback would have to happen from 69K. I understand like the magnitude of the pullback that can happen. That's surely possible, but you know, time-wise and fractal-wise, like you know, I do not think we are even there yet.
We're low or.
I would actually agree with that. And actually, I have a chart. I tweeted this out, and I'm kind of mad because I made the chart better after I tweeted it out, which is a shame. But I might want to steal a Tommy just because we're talking about this right now. So it would require me to steal a Tommy. But
there you did it.
see, I just tweeted this out.
Am I
but
an
I
NFT?
made what?
To steal a Tommy? Am I an NFT?
I clicked on a Tommy and all my NFTs were gone.
Real quick, Max, speaking of
Yeah.
NFTs, we were able to get our BB Discord last night to cool, 5x and 10x.
Yeah,
if you
it
had
was only a
Saga fund.
5x overnight, guys. So I know that's probably not good enough for a lot of you guys, but you know, it was in fact a 5x overnight. Thank you, Dr. Will's Outlook.
If you had a Saga fund, it was 10. I want to point that out.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I think that looking at things in terms, you know, kind of revolving around the Bitcoin halving can actually be very useful. And a lot of people will, let me just remove these. So, you know, I marked out the Bitcoin halvings here, right? So second Bitcoin halving, third Bitcoin halving, fourth Bitcoin halving. And then just to make it real easy on the eyes, I color coded it. All right. But from January 1st of the halving year, okay, so January 1st rolls around, and then that same year, within 365 days following this January 1st, you have a Bitcoin halving. I marked it out for the second Bitcoin halving, third Bitcoin halving, and fourth Bitcoin halving. All right. So if you fractal this over it, I mean, this is potentially where we're at, guys, you know, and it's also very interesting from a timing perspective, how then you measure from the Bitcoin halving to when we had an all-time high. And then again, from the third Bitcoin halving to the next all-time high, you know, it's about 500 days from a Bitcoin halving to a new all-time high, or global high, not all-time high. And then another from all-time high to the next halving, 800 to 900 days, which is shown here in the red. So I think, you know, assuming this time isn't different, we probably go on to make a new all-time high somewhere just after the Bitcoin halving. We're not even there yet, Tucker. That's the thing. That's like what Jackus was saying, is like, we're not even there yet, man. That would be, where did you have it draw? You had us like right here, you know.
No.
That would
He had the right one. The right one. Below
higher,
all-time high.
Max.
Oh
higher.
yeah, right there. Yeah. You had us right here, man. I think you're ahead of it, man. I don't even think the party has started yet, which is the crazy part, right? I mean, we're so early and it doesn't feel like it. And that's one thing I've told Wabi, where he's like, oh man, my altcoin's up like 10x. Like, we're so late. Like, we just had alt season. I'm like, bro, we haven't even started yet, man. Like, you're just so early, you know? Like, we haven't even started yet, man. Like, the mania doesn't happen until we get to this point up here. You know, and Bitcoin is probably, I mean, again, it could be like, you know, it could be like
Max,
right up in this region. Yeah.
The mania hasn't started until you see meme coins pulling, 20, 50x. Until then, the cycle has not ended.
Well, we talked about too, Jackus. yesterday on yesterday's show, and I don't know if you got a chance to catch that or not, Max. But we discussed basically all the layers that are basically layer ones that are lagging right now, as well as layer twos behind the rest of the market. And there's actually quite a few. There's only a handful that are actually moving. That's why when people are calling for a block top, it's like, dude, you're high. Like if you look at most of these layer ones, they're all underperforming against ETH, every one of them, as well as your layer twos. And then if you were to look at total, Max, I mean, you don't even have to use BTC. Look at total. Total is very telling. We're much lower than what people are anticipating. That I got a call, but based on total is telling everything that that a lot of people are not paying attention to. I would definitely pull that up though when you get a chance after you can finish cooking on this stuff first.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely pull it up. It's just I think we're so early on this, man. It's crazy. And I think a lot of people they won't realize that they fucking missed it until Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. You know? They'll simply miss it. But I think we are, I mean, again, looking at this chart, I think we are in this region. You know, we are in this region. And I can't plan for this, right? Black Swan, but this is where we're at. You know, we are right here. The real fun hasn't even started yet, guys. We're so early to it, and people are just so in their own head about the recession and locally it's overextended, and it's like, okay, all of that can be true. And I put this in our Discord yesterday as well, and I'll just talk about it here. All right, hang on, let me pull this up. So I just wanted to talk about this real quick too. So like this idea of the recession being imminent. So we talked about this in the Discord yesterday. Well, the recession really begins. So this is the 2-year or the 10-year minus the 2-year. So this is the inversion of the yield curve. Okay. So let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this.
The
Let's just put
recession
on a
is
line
not
chart.
until BTC blows off top. Period. Like BTC decides the recession, not the
So
recession.
this is the S&P 500 right here, guys.
No. Will, that
Oh
is
yeah, bro.
incorrect.
Oh yeah.
What are you
Hang on.
talking about?
Hang on. Let me just finish this point.
That's
All right. The
okay.
the
Go ahead.
recession begins, okay, or we get that, the big
You love that
pullback.
energy, Max. You love that energy.
Yeah. The recession begins when the 10-year minus the 2-year uninverts above basically a 0.25% or 25 basis points. So we're still 50 basis points inverted right now, and it can take months, if not even potentially years, to see this happen. I mean, look at the last couple times. Look at what happened. We got a long ways to go, guys. This could take well over a year. What can Bitcoin do in a year? What can the S&P 500 do in a year? Especially while unemployment remains, I mean, at very, very healthy levels, right? We're not even over 4%, I don't think. So I'm just like, people are talking about all these signs, and I'm like, these are so slow moving. You're literally just going to sit and just wait and watch because you're so afraid. People are going to miss this entire cycle. They're literally going to miss this entire cycle because they're too in their head about something that they don't actually understand the timing of. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad. Yeah.
Do you remember last year, at the fall, I was saying, hey, we stay long until we see those few things happening. And I said, they first need to create that sentiment above new all-time highs, and then they will make you FOMO. They will make you go from the sidelines back into the market. And then we said, hey, all these people are missing this cycle because they are worried of the recession. And guess what? Those are the people that are buying the top. They are the exit liquidity.
Mm-hmm. Yep, great point. And guys, look at this as well. I put the unemployment rate down here. This is what Jackus was just referring. This is just one of the metrics that we had talked about. And I'll type this out right here. So this is unemployment rate right down here. And then this is SPX, and then this is the yield curve. Okay. So notice what happens here. As the US 10-year minus the 2-year uninverts above 0.275% roughly, again, it's just kind of in that region. Look at what happens. Unemployment rate starts to coil up as well every single time. And by the way, this one back in back in the 90s, we actually saw unemployment climbing up and the S&P 500 was grinding higher as well. So it doesn't have to even we don't even have to have a crazy recession, I suppose. I mean, the past 3 times it did. So I wouldn't plan on it not happening. But this can just take so long, like people are literally going to not ever buy Bitcoin. It's literally going to go to like 200K. And then people are going to be like, oh, I just still wouldn't buy because the recession's even more imminent today than it was yesterday. And they're just going to fucking miss the whole thing, man. The whole thing.
Good.
More for Jackus. Jackus wants all the Bitcoin.
Man, we are here warning them for months, man. For months. It's playing
What
out
else is there to
with
explain,
logic.
Guys? What else can we do to explain it? It's just right here. It's data dependent, right? So it's like when you
can
start
get
to
them
see,
counseling. That's how you can help them.
When you start to see this number curl up above 4%, and you start to see this chart go back above 0.25%, then just sell everything. But until that happens, why would you sell anything?
Max, it's as simple as this. Look, Bitcoin decides when the recession happens.
Will pause.
Not
why?
Will, I don't even know if
Not
I
the
can let you get
economy.
away with that, Will. I don't think I can let you get away with
the
beyond
economy.
incorrect. That is beyond wrong.
And
Why?
and that's just, it is what it is.
Bitcoin will lead, but it's not.
Bitcoin will be your leading indicator.
I don't even know if that's true, Will. I don't know if that's true.
Listen, Bitcoin is correlation, but not causation.
Thank you.
No, it's not causation. It's just correlation. Exactly. Causation is idiots in Congress, right? And then your correlation is BTC, breaking all-time high, blowing people's backs out whose portfolios are 100% bonds because they say the recession's coming. And then all their investors have them switch at the Pico top, and then they all buy in, and they're the exit liquidity because these aren't portfolio managers. They're people that work at, clown, or they work at circuses, right? They work with the dancing bears. They like, these people say they know macro. It's like, bro, how do you know macro? You're a year and many months out from your macro recession, and you're still screaming recession.
Macro.
Look, I hate to be the guy in the room that has to call it like this, but like, you've been wrong. You're wrong. You're flat out wrong. Look, you can't look at 2 numbers on a piece of paper, 1 + 1, and say, you know what, that doesn't equal 2. At some point, that's going to equal 3.
Will, here's what you're forgetting, dude. It can identify as whatever number it wants to be.
Yeah,
right.
We live in America.
What macro guys are saying. Look,
1 + 1 identifies as 19.
Look,
how dare you?
When you look at this economy,
well, some people identify as a recession. So,
is your 200K Bitcoin identifying as a recession?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, because Bitcoin ran to 200K, that gives even more concrete evidence that we're in a recession, guys. Because Bitcoin would have never ran to 200K if we weren't. Okay, well, if you knew Bitcoin was going to run to 200K because you thought we were in a recession, why didn't you buy? Why didn't you buy? And again, it comes back to like, what's that one where they're sitting there? Oh, Inception, right? These people are literally playing Inception with themselves. Like they're trying to play 4D chess with a wall. There's no person on the other side. They're sitting here like psyoping people, and they know what's going on. But it's like, if you had a clue of what's going on, you wouldn't be looking at this data and be like, okay, I need to be buying bonds. This is the dumbest take ever. Like, you're gonna outperform bonds 1,000 times over by the time all this is done, said, over with, and goes into recession and comes back. You're gonna outperform bonds. Like, flat out across the board. We could say risk to reward, bonds less risky, blah, 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 blah. We can say all that, right? But at the end of the day, you will be an underperforming portfolio. By a long shot.
Yeah.
By a long 100%,
shot. Man. I mean, the time to generate, I think, like a passive yield and not be aggressively deployed was, towards the tail end of the tightening cycle. Buy some 1 to 2 year notes and just let them sit there. But I think the time to redeploy has kind of I mean, I would say you're still within that window, right? I don't think that equities feel as cheap to me as crypto. But yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, man, I just think that people are too scared, you know. There's just a lot of noise right now. But again, if you just look at this chart, this is literally all you need to know right here. This is it. Drown out everything else, man. This is literally all you need to know. What's that?
Put on Bitcoin.
Sir, yes, sir.
Coming
right up.
even claims, Max, like claims never peaked ever. How do you look at this and say it's a recession? We're still underemployed. You know how they do it, right? They cherry pick. They cherry pick sectors. They sit there and say, "Oh, well, the tech sector laid off, blah blah." Okay, what's the tech sector? You have so many other sectors outside the tech sector. Show me weakness somewhere else. Like, of course, the tech sector is going to rotate. Why is it going to rotate? You got AI, you got all these other things assisting the tech sector to where they don't need as many people. Of course, they're going to lose people. And those people went on to find other jobs. How do we know this? Because we're data dependent. We can simply look at claims, right? If those people didn't move on and find other jobs, they would be claiming unemployment. They're not.
So I want to point out one thing here with Bitcoin as well. I hope you guys can see this, but Bitcoin during the drop, the March drop, actually held up better than the S&P 500. You'll see that Bitcoin didn't go on to take out this low. Here, let me just collapse this, make this a little bit bigger. So if we're talking about which
Make it
asset,
candlestick, Max, the bottom chart of BTC. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll see it identifying like a very prominent low that lined up across the board for, you know, TradFi indexes as well as Bitcoin. It was this drop that we had basically in early 2019 where Bitcoin was down at 3K. The S&P 500 was down at, I guess, sub 2,500. You can see pretty clearly here. I'll just make this even bigger. You can see that Bitcoin actually held up better during COVID than stocks did. Bitcoin didn't take out this low where the S&P 500 did.
It was the stronger asset across the board.
It had more resiliency. It did. And it was the better asset to hold.
Check out ETH right now, man.
Are we going upwards aggressively?
Yes, bro. Fill the wick. Fill the wick.
That's beautiful.
Kind of looks juicy.
It does. It's doing what you said, Tucker. You said
it was going to inverse BART. I said it, man. I said it.
My only concern,
right when we were, Max, guys, right when we were at that very big bottom, we were live on this show on ETH, and I was saying, hey, actually, can we pull out, you know, H4 time frame on ETH and go on with the RSI? Put on RSI, and I want to.
Oh man, it looks
on H4, right?
Man.
And during that drop, that was live on the show at that very bottom of that wick, and I was saying right here on the show, guys, each time we were this oversold in history, as it allows us to go in history, which is prior to COVID, which is back to 2019. Each time we were this low, we have always bounced for at minimum at a month, and depending on the context, we so many times bottomed, so many times when we are at those levels. No, do not mark those. Only the levels where ETH RSI was at that time, right? Only that oversold, right? So that's the very bottom here and so forth. Yeah, only those few times when that happens, you know. So each time we were this oversold, that meant the either the bottom or very, very close to it. Or if we were in a peak bear market, that at least meant a pause for a month or so. And we bottomed this way during a March drop, we bottomed this way during FTX collapse, and so forth. And I said, hey, a huge bounce is coming in all these markets, And people were, no, it's over.
Speaking of bounces, Jackus, have you taken a look at ETH Bitcoin today?
Not that much, but I see right now, yeah, that there is a bounce here. But to be honest, you know, I'm not really like I'm in the most unbothered, moisturized, happy position in my online flourishing, and I am just waiting until it hits 0.08 because anything below that is a thought to me, you
Yeah,
know.
and
And again,
remember, just to add to your context there, Jack, is remember, you can't purchase anything until it gets, ETH BTC flips. You have to sit sidelined in full cash and not buy a single thing until ETH BTC flips because ETH BTC is the alpha. That's what I was told.
at the end of the day, guys, when ETH really goes up, that's when all your alts will absolutely rip on the alt BTC pairs. It is what it is, and always been that way.
Yeah, that the other thing is too. This is a conversation I had with some people on the Web3 side the other day, and it's the capitulation of Solana is the only thing to be buying or playing in, yada yada yada. I feel like that's become a narrative now, and I love when narratives start to play because when narratives start to play, I start to look elsewhere. When people start to get culty, I'm like, all right, great. There's plenty of cultist people in here. I have no need to look in here. I need to look for the next cult where everybody's going to rotate to. Um, and arguably, I think like ETH will be that play going into the cycle. This reminds me of I don't know if you guys remember, but Q1 of 2021, where ETH did absolutely jack shit. It did nothing. It just sat there, hovered between 2,000 and 2,500, and refused to go any higher. And then sorry, I think it was below 2,000. And then finally popped up, broke out of the range. I think that 3,500 is that range. I think once you get into 3,500, ETH beta starts to play, right? It starts to play. It starts to come into play. Everybody's sitting there still chasing Solana. Solana rotates to ETH, and then we're gonna start seeing some real FOMO start to kick in. I mean that'll just be the beginning, right? That'll be the beginning. That's not even like the top of the market. That's just the market just getting started. Like people have no clue what is coming. Like I am so well positioned, I believe, in this cycle. Like I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna fumble these bags. Like generational wealth last cycle, I fumbled so many bags. I had like I think a 10K position on launch on Kishu Inu. If I'd have held that position, oh my dude, I'd have had like $1.5 million. I already did the math. And then I had a couple other ones and a couple other shit coins that I had positioned. I'm positioned in shit coins. I'm positioned in altcoins. I'm positioned in Bitcoin and like fully deployed, guys. Like I'm really tempted right now to sell my car and take the bus. Possibly live under a bridge if I didn't have a kid. I would consider that, but I can't do that right now. But as of right now, I'm doing everything I can to raise more capital to buy more shit because the recession's coming, right? So I need to be more overexposed so that way I can get destroyed by this recession that's coming. Ultimately,
So
here probably in the next 6 months to a year.
so let's look at ETH BTC. Actually, very interesting spot that it's bouncing from. It's right at this weekly order block. If you guys can see this. This is where we were talking it needs to hold from. It's the base of all these candles, these closes right here. And also, again, just the weekly order block. So looking at the lower time frames, I mean, I hope this is it. It really should hold here.
Listen,
But
Max, it's as basic as this. Okay, if you're gonna put on the weekly time frame and put on RSI, you'll see that it's the most oversold it's been since the last cycle bottom, sitting on a weekly bull diff after sweeping, June 2022 low. I mean, what are we even talking about here? It's
what are we
only
even talking
matter,
about?
yeah, all macro assets bottomed this way last year. So what are we even talking about here? The only thing, anyone feeling bad is because they're either overexposed to ETH or they are, they are just stupid. I don't know. Like ease is only a matter of patience, man, and that's it. And but as always, guys, this is what I keep on preaching, guys. You do not want to be all in on BTC, in my opinion, unless obviously you just want to store your wealth in Bitcoin and not looking to be a trader or anything, right? Like there are certain approaches, but like if you are investing, right, then you wanna be diversified, right? You do not want to be all in on Solana. You do not want to be all in on ETH or anything. You want to have exposure in both of these. And when these markets pump, You take profits and you rotate, right? And that's it. It's that simple.
Salient point. It's important because you have an over concentration of your wealth in one asset. Cope is guaranteed because it will not outperform forever. I like this level, Jackus. 0.07.
No, that's too low, man.
We're
Too
about
low.
to cope about,
That's
Max.
too low?
That's too low. Why would it stop
Okay,
there?
all right, let me try again. Let me try again.
All right.
Let me try again.
Try
Now we're
again.
talking.
I like this level.
Now we're talking.
0.08.
Yeah.
You like that level?
Yeah, I think it goes a little bit higher still. Just to be absolutely precise, you wanna tag that. You wanna tag that highway that's sitting on
Here?
8171. No, the one below it. Next to it, right? Next to it. No, left.
Oh, right here.
No, left.
Damn it.
Left. There is one inside one. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. That's the last high.
Are you talking about this?
Yes.
Why would that one be more important, though?
I'm not gonna share that. Let's just
Jackus,
call
you
it
know what?
Jackus Alpha.
I need that Jackus Alpha. You can't do that to me.
I can.
I can and I did.
I mean, I'm not gonna share this stuff, guys, for free, like without you guys smashing the like button, right? So
That's true. I mean, the likes are pretty weak today, if we're being honest. I mean, 44. Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was that bad.
yeah.
Oh no. 45 likes. Oh,
You guys
dear.
better smash that like button.
I might just call the stream off right now, guys. I think we might be done. I feel disrespected. We've been cooking today.
Guys, I need opinions, man. I need
Oh,
opinions.
he pulled a Tommy on me.
Yeah, I
Man.
did. Hard. Check this out.
It's gonna bounce, man. Trust.
Dude, it's gonna bounce so hard, Tucker. It's literally gonna go to 50 cents in a 1 hour.
We got a wick sweep. We got the falling wedge war. We got this little trend line. I mean, this is your punt, or else it's going a lot lower, I feel like.
Dude, how could you be bearish with Jupiter airdrop tomorrow, Tucker? How can I won't accept it.
So much higher, man. So much higher.
There is a nice daily FVG there on with though.
Is there?
For bullish case. Yeah.
Yeah. We pretty much filled it.
ETH really ticking up here, Tucker.
Do we need Agger?
We might. I think we could. I mean, maybe it might even be a today thing that ETH is trading above 2,500. Honestly,
what? 2,500.
Which, I mean, I guess it depends on your perspective whether or not that's a big pump or not. It will put the pump on ETH beta, though. I'll tell you that.
I mean, this looks good, man.
My Arbitrum backs will love it, and they are loving it.
I'm gonna make Wabi a blur lever.
I've got some blur exposure too.
LDO as
Not
well.
much, but
what's blur doing?
He'll become a believer when Solana network gets congested and gets locked up and stops moving.
Cope.
Listen, anything below $8 on LDO is a FUD, and I don't care. You can sell me Oriole, LDO, and then fuck off.
You can ape whiff here with a 20% stop, and I mean I'm looking for like at least 5 to 10 multiples on it, man. I'm telling you, don't fade the dog with a hat. Yeah,
let's just zoom out here and delete.
I'm running a couple.
I'm willing to be like historically wrong with that take, by the way.
I'm rocking a couple other Solana shitcoins that are not whiff at the moment. I think they're gonna run too. I got some of Solana. I got
Where's
some
the full
Sui,
chart, man?
A little bit in ETH.
Where's the entire chart? How do I find the whole chart?
Man, Blur actually looks amazing. I just checked. Holy fuck, that one is going
and
to run.
Think about the confluence. If ETH runs like Tommy's suggesting, Blur probably has a decent catalyst to at least pump in the short term.
Bro,
I would think.
all shitcoins send on ETH if ETH runs. But I do want to point out this one. Has anybody talked about Bonk? I don't feel like we talked about Bonk in a while.
Bonk is done. It's over.
It's toast. I thought it would be. I
It's
just
done.
wondered.
It's absolutely
Did that guy
done.
capitulate,
Holy
man?
shit.
Did the
Yeah, it's done.
That looks like Shib before it fell off a cliff.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh
what
my
happened
God.
to what happened to that perps guy? He had like a 10 million unrealized
I
P&L.
don't
Did
know.
he capitulate?
He's probably
Around triple.
yeah.
Could you imagine?
Man,
Is that
Oh my
confirmed? Like he's
God.
done?
Bonk looks exactly like Bitcoin at 6K in 2018.
It does.
Oh yeah, it does. It's gonna do
Oh.
this.
Shib did the same thing, man. It's
Wait,
done.
Tucker, put that fractal up. You can do better than that. Come on. Let's
I mean,
actually.
that's pretty good. Let's
No,
be real.
but
That's
you're the
pretty good, man.
masseuse. You're the masseuse. Come on now.
That was pretty good. But yeah, no, it does.
He's
I
really
don't know.
gonna
I can see it forming a floor here, but yeah, that's a pretty scary hold if you're holding that. Not gonna lie.
Listen, Bonk bottoms at like 60K or something. Like
Damn, that looks
60K
just
cents.
like it, dude. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
deal
Where
with
would
it.
you be? Like
You're telling me
here?
it goes higher?
No,
Is
further
the
left,
time
Tucker.
pan through it?
Further left?
Yeah, because we just had like the first spike up. Yeah, like we're
Yeah.
right there.
You're
Yeah,
like
right.
in the
That's where we
middle.
are, right there.
I wish I could.
I don't know. I think Bong's forming a floor here, bro. I'm
Let's
not
just
gonna
do
lie.
this.
Like I'm
Will
not.
owns Bonk, man. He's coping.
No, I don't
dear.
have. I have zero bonk. I sold all my bonk with all the idiots about it.
No,
But
Put it in log, Tucker.
it's over.
There you go.
Yeah, but I don't like
I know,
log.
but mush it down. You can just like mush it. Now
Yeah.
Log
Yeah.
is usually cope.
look,
Like
bonk,
this,
bonk.
exactly like this.
Oh
I
my
don't know
god.
about that, man.
Yeah, that's pretty.
What's
That's
the
pretty
date on
bad.
that? I'm curious what the date is on that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
February,
You're
end
still
of
way up
Feb.
there.
Good to know. That's all you need to know right there.
How's the astrology, Tommy?
Oh, I don't have any astrology for February cooked up yet, but I'll get it for you here over the next few days, Max.
Bro, I
February is
hope nobody's in any
green.
long position on that.
February is green. March, you probably get a scare, and then just turn off your brain and hold everything.
Listen, Bonk went up that 20,000% and isn't down even minus 80%. So until it's at least minus 80%, you just ignore it.
I didn't see the rest of the chart there, so now I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could drive that line arguably all the way to the left too, and you're probably hitting just that other high too.
Yeah,
right on there.
Yep.
That seems like a solid
There.
floor. Yeah, I do like that.
So what is that in terms of drawdown from here? 60% almost.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Not something I'd want to sit through, but yeah, that's a wrecked portfolio if you're sized into that. Yeah, I just wanted to look at it, but yeah, with how much it's up, man. Yeah, this thing could definitely fall back that far. It's up massively.
Now, how are we reconciling Whiff going to $2 while Bonk nukes 60%?
Hey, real quick, Tucker, put that against Shiba, man. It looks like a Shiba move.
Shib nuked from that pattern. Yeah, that's what I remember.
There you go.
This.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Very
even worse
similar.
for Bonk, dude. It's over.
Very
It's
similar.
over.
Like, no, look at the run, bro. Look at the run up. It's the same thing.
Bro.
It's
Wait,
same
turn
ramp
log
and
off,
everything.
Tucker. Turn log off on Bonk,
Why?
just so we can see it.
Oh, it's over.
Oh
You can't
man.
even. Oh
Yeah, there we
man,
go.
actually that is real, isn't it? Oh, it's over.
Zero negative prices.
Zero.
Look, it's gonna be the high, right? Exactly where you had it. Yep.
I like that actually.
I always love when I massage a fractal onto a chart and it like has negative prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. See
oh, that's
right
not
there. Like scroll out on Shiba now. It's a very similar type of. Now scroll out on Bonk and you'll see the same wick down.
Yeah, but that's
At the
not very
start.
encouraging at all.
Hold on, but scroll out more on Bonk so they can see the wick down at the start. The launch drop.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, it far exceeded what
Yo,
Shiba did.
that is wild. Actually, that looks pretty.
Holy crap!
Wow.
Wow.
It's over.
Bonk. Well, to be fair, to Shib had such a massive first pump that it doesn't surprise me that the listing price is higher, because I mean Shib ran up over, I want to say it ran up over $1 billion on the first pump back in the spring of 2021 before Vitalik literally rugged it, which is still to this day maybe my favorite moment from that entire bull market.
Dude, it was
Yeah,
great
pretty
when he
funny.
rugged those. Like I was in them and I got wrecked, but I just found it so funny when he did that shit.
Wait, I don't know about that. I guess I missed that. What happened there?
Oh, this isn't the Shib on chain. This
He
is
Tell me.
yeah.
Vitalik got sent half the SHIB tokens and he sold all of them in one transaction and rugged
Wow.
SHIB on the first pump and said he was donating it all to charity.
Wow.
And got a tax write-off and got a freaking tax write-off for it.
It was amazing, honestly. But I think that meta was what allowed it to, it wasn't like anything adverse happened to the meme coin. It was just kind of like it got sold into really hard by the Ethereum founder. So, and there were rumors anyway that SHIB was a Ethereum Foundation token, an insider token. But I think that was why SHIB was able to come back, was because, the reason it dumped the first time was kind of harmless, more or less.
So
Listen, guys. Sorry, Will. Before, like, lots of people are still speculating whether like this is it for this cycle. Just look at the freaking SHIB chart. It had that insane pump, then the bear market in 2022, and since then, just now it took, well, not just now, but like in this cycle in 2023, it took that all-time low and it's going sideways for 633 days, guys. And it has not pumped yet. So the cycle is not over until SHIB pumps to like at minimum 40,000, whatever this is pronounced.
Up there,
So yeah, until like you see some pump like that, the cycle is not over. It's that simple, Someone's accumulating here heavy. Okay, it's some whale for this amounts of time. And until you see this type of pump, the cycle is not over. Now that doesn't mean there will not be higher time frame legs down, over like like -30, -40% drops, right? And some of these coins, but like I'm talking the big cycle, right? When stuff pumps, like in 2021, basically. So yeah, guys, zoom out.
Dinesh is asking about Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla.
Yeah, let's talk about Tesla, because I think there are some pretty smart people that I follow that are suggesting that Tesla is put in a high time frame bottom here. And then I also have, some smart friends who are telling me that Tesla's in the midst of a fundamental repricing. So it, like, TA might not matter. I think it's a really interesting asset to talk about right now.
TA always matters, but we could discuss it.
Of course, Will, of course. No, I agree. I mean, you know how it works. It's that the fundamentals come in at the end of the trend. So it only makes sense that it's a fundamental repricing here at the low.
Yeah, I've got it sitting. Here's the flip for Tesla. I'll give you guys the play. If Tesla gets back above 200, it sends, right? If Tesla doesn't get back above 200, you're probably coming down to like 166. That's my thoughts on Tesla. I think that's the low. If you go lower than 166, I'd say you hit 160, you're coming all the way back down to the hundreds. You're filling that entire low. But if you can stay above 166, arguably, if you can get back above 200 here, then in that position, you're good to go. You can send off of that. So 200 is your send.
This gap, right? You're thinking this gap, 206.
Yep, you get back up in there, you're ripping to the upside.
Yeah, you gotta clear that.
I'm currently holding myself a small underwater position, but I'm still comfy. This was the big shakeout and it heads higher. I'm still eyeing $320 at minimum.
Hey, did you guys see that bounce on Lucid the other day though? Thing literally fell off a cliff and then absolutely chatted off the low. But you can see here, this is that slow grind down capitulation, and I think that's a capitulatory move. That lower position. What time frame is this, Tucker?
12-hour
Nah,
daily
man.
now.
Look, we got to go half decade.
Half deck. I'll give you the 2 week. I'll give you the 2 week.
What's the RSI look like against that?
Hang on. This is actually a nice level.
Oof, yeah, that looks good, man. I like the RSI bounce. That makes sense.
That's
Wait,
a scary
but
chart,
what-
man. That's a scary
No,
chart.
no,
It
look
looks like
at the last
those
time it
DeFi
bottomed.
ETH charts, man.
No,
I,
but
I
look,
wanna know. I wanna know what does the RSI looks like on the like button.
Oh, capitulation, Jackus.
Is the better way to play Lucid to just chart Lucid against Tesla?
No, it's to chart this.
No, it didn't play out too well against Tesla.
Yeah, there it is.
Aye.
But I will say this: if you Rivian got blown out. But yeah, so if you go back to Lucid real quick, look at the last time it bottomed on that 2 week where you had it there, Tucker. The very last time it bottomed, the 30. Now go up to where it bounced and where it went off of that 30 bounce. So look at price.
Check price, good price.
So if history repeats, you could see another one of those, BS type moves where it just absolutely rips up to that high again, probably taps it, and then rolls. I don't think it'll be sustained, at least not until it proves it. It's got to get above that trend where Tucker has marked out. But if it could, I think, easily get back to that range based on where it's sitting at on RSI, if history repeats. Does that make sense? I mean, that could be a cool, kind of worth longing type position.
Yeah,
I don't know what the payout would be on that, but
yeah.
I have a chart request, guys. Whenever we're ready.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Dinesh, if you get about 200 for sure, like you have potential to start trending up, but you have to flip 200. You have to flip 200 on Tesla. That's kind of the area.
I would love your guys' take on magic.
Magic.
It's gonna be magic.
I haven't traded that in probably almost a year at this point, man. I was trading it in Q1 last year. It was fun.
You're missing out.
It looks really good actually on a higher time frame. Holy crap.
Let's do some chart work.
Magic?
Oh, that's right. Magic's an Arbitrum token, isn't it? That's probably why it's catching a bid.
So yeah, Tommy, if you look at flows, ARB's like arguably number 3 right now.
Oh yeah, Will. I'm using
what do you want?
On Arbitrum. It just had more volume than Jupiter yesterday.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people. That are
I
Jupiter,
see that
Jupiter.
look,
I'm
man.
like, dude,
Tucker,
ARB is getting way
Dude,
more.
what is happening? I have no idea. Everyone's screaming right now.
That's the energy.
What chart
That's the
do you
energy
want?
we wanted.
We were talking about magic. We were staring at Lucid.
Sorry,
I was saying to change the chart.
I was arguing with Chimp in the Discord, man. He's saying that I'm coping on whiff, and I had to reprimand him. Yeah.
Yeah, Chimp also shilled me an NFT at the Pico top. So
I think you bought mine, Max.
Oh man.
Chimp probably as I told him, I was like, all right, fine, I'll buy one. Just send me one that you think embodies me. He probably sent me one that he owned at the Pico top.
For sure.
Wait, what? So the real alpha of the BB Discord, guys, is actually that you join the group, Then you make Max buy your bags.
And
He
then
will.
up on
He
Max.
will.
It's different here at BB. Our followers dump on us. Okay.
All right, so Magic, guys, let me
Look
know.
at that thing.
Because I don't want to hear Max telling me that I didn't remind him enough, right? Of Magic. Because I was a buyer at, we were a buyer at 77 cents on the BB Discord, guys.
Dude, what is magic? What does it even
Yeah,
do?
what is this?
What am I looking
Like-
at?
Like,
It's
do you
magic.
know? Listen, Max, do you know what 90% of the shitcoins that you buy do? Or no?
No.
So why are you asking that question? It's a magic, and that's
I'm
all
more
you need to
asking,
know.
is there a popular narrative around it that would cause it to pump?
Arbitrum tokens
Yeah.
are catching bid right now.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
That's all that's needed.
Is Arbitrum itself catching a bid right now?
Yes, the network is literally number 3 on volume. It's killing.
What
It's
about
killing it.
TPS?
Guess,
Look, TPS
guess,
is king.
guys.
It's king
Who was
on
buying
Arbitrum.
Arbitrum? Guess who was buying Arbitrum right at that bottom of the wick? Guess
Edward.
who, guys?
That's true. Multiple
Dev.
villains were technically buying Arbitrum.
Our
I
web
think
dev.
the Arbitrum thing is so
Yeah.
funny because if you guys remember during the price action where it just bled out for like 5 months, everybody talked about how it was such a like there was no more surefire ETH layer 1 or L2 trade than Arbitrum. And then it went down only for 5 or 6 months and everybody completely forgot about it. I love the sentimental reflexivity of markets in that way.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. That's why I'm shoved in. The ETH beta is now pumping since I once again bought in. It's up 20% since the low. I love it, man. ETH didn't do much, but the ETH beta, oh, enjoyer. I
Yeah,
am
just delete the failed support, Tucker. That's how
Yeah, we're gonna just
We're
say
gonna
that, man.
diversifier.
The
I actually have a
failed
Pepe
support.
fractal if you guys want to see it. I might need to pull
Yes.
a Tommy though.
I mean, clean sweep, right? Maybe.
Do you want to see my fractal, bro?
Yeah. Let's see.
Doesn't want to see meme coin hopium, man.
Yeah.
All right. If Tommy's right, and ETH is gonna rip here, I can definitely draw some comparisons between like this region, like this bottom, and where we're potentially at right now.
Oh, he's
Especially
right.
from an oversold perspective as well. You're seeing a lot of like, I mean, that was really, really bottom, little bear div there. Like it's oversold, no question. So I see potential similarity here, just like sentiment's terrible, months and months of bleeding. And then ETH starts to pump, and then it just, when it goes, it goes. So, in my opinion, like we probably shouldn't get below this wick. So it could even be as simple as this right here. Here, let's just get rid of this. It could literally be as simple as this. Shouldn't get below this low. If you do, probably doesn't play out.
Nah, it's gonna play.
Hello. Hello. Where's my team?
I like it.
What's going on?
I don't know. No one said anything.
You finally have the opportunity
You
to
didn't hear
cook,
me?
and you're like, no.
I
Where's
was
my
just
team?
letting you talk.
All right,
I
I'm
mean,
a cook. I'm done with you guys. Everyone log off. Solo stream. Everyone's done for the day except me. We're gonna talk about
No
Caspa
sous chefs. Only
Like
Max.
5 minutes
No,
ago.
no. Silence. Everyone silence. Nope, you guys are done. The day is over. I'm gonna cook.
Nobody say anything for the rest of the show. Make him eat his words.
5 minutes ago, Tucker was like, I'm not even like, you guys are screaming at each other and I can't even join in. And then 5 minutes later,
That's real.
Max 5 minutes later, no one's talking.
God. All right. You want to talk about Caspa? Let's go.
no, we don't want to talk about Caspa.
Will,
Oh
and a
my
hush
God.
fell over the room.
Caspa propaganda again.
Here's the problem: is you guys are going to be coping when Caspa gaps up to
I'm not gonna be.
35
Look,
cents.
I don't even know what Caspa does. Nobody
And I'll
does.
tell
They
you,
just
I'll tell
talk
you what
about
it does. It proves Will wrong because Will fudded it and called it Luna 400% ago. That's what Caspa does. Now I'm going to show you where we're going. All right. Caspa's
To
going
$1.
so much
We
higher.
know.
What?
We know. We know it's going to $1. Nobody's
No,
questioning.
no, it's not going to $1. It's going to $3. You're wrong. It's going
Okay,
much higher.
$10.
I
$10.
watch this guy on Twitter, and he posts on Caspa every single day, right? And he posted one of his posts. He says, caught Caspa for this 2-cent move, scalped it. I'm like, why in God's earth would you scalp anything for 2 pennies? I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't know about that. I
it,
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trade Caspa. I think it's fine to hold, but yeah, I mean, I think the next level up, in my opinion, is pretty obvious. So this 1.618, and I'll make this a little bit bigger for you guys. This 1.618 is concrete, in my opinion. So we're putting in a big bull flag right now. I think things look really solid. We've had multiple opportunities to break down. Caspa also looks good against the Bitcoin pair and the ETH pair. So yeah, I think that the next level that we're gonna hit is, let me put the price up there.
look,
It's gonna be
I'll give you
right
that.
here. It's
I'll
gonna
give
be
you the
right here.
alpha, Max. Caspa, it's gonna play for a while. It's a very crowded trade. All I see across the board on Twitter is people talking about how they put their whole net worth in it.
You're right.
That
That's
usually
super
doesn't
bearish, Will. That's super
that
bearish.
usually doesn't end well. I'm just saying, it usually doesn't end well when you put your whole net worth into one thing. So
Will, you've
yeah,
been coping
good
on
luck.
Caspa since like 3 cents,
Yeah,
bro.
you've been coping
You've been
No,
completely
hard.
coping on Caspa.
no.
We have all the
Listen,
receipts of your cope on
I
Caspa.
look. I will put the post up. I'm gonna retweet it. I'm gonna retweet it. I literally called the flip. I called the freaking flip. I said this is where Caspa's gonna flip bullish. It actually pushed through. It's not gonna drop anymore. And I called the flip on it. I'm gonna repost it so everybody can see it because nobody believes me. But at the end of the day, everybody's net worth's in it. Eventually, you're all gonna lose your net worth. Enjoy. But no, the more important thing is, all right, is and this is the elephant in the room. Everybody's looking around the room. They're like, man, why is it so tight in this room? Why is it
I'm
so
waiting
hot?
for you to make a
It's
good point, Will.
it's
So
it's
please
because
hurry up.
the elephant is
You're just
right
making
there. It's
noise right now.
squeezed.
Just say something
It's
good. This is
squeezed up
nothing.
against you. All right. The elephant is render. Render.
Dude,
That's
I'm in
the
the middle
elephant.
of talking about Caspa, which was a question. You went on a 5-minute spiel talking about how you actually didn't fade this move, which you did, and then brought up another coin. Let me cook, bro. Let me cook. I don't even know what that was. All right, let me cook. 34 cents. All right, 34 cents. This is a bull flag. This 1.618 is concrete. We're going to do this, okay? And then everybody's going to cope. Everybody's going to cope. End of the day, this is where we go next. I'll leave
I
it at that.
agree.
I had to
I
think.
still think, Max, that we may spend more time in here, which I understand that, like it doesn't matter really that much if you buy here or slightly lower. I still think we go slightly lower before we go higher, but I agree on the direction. And I think that, yes, I agree with Will that at the end, all these maxis will end up back holding through the bear market, and then they will probably sell at minus 80% or something.
He's
Some
correct
of
about that. He is
yeah,
correct about that. That will happen for sure.
yeah, yeah. And but I think from here it's quite obvious that Caspa is undergoing a reaccumulation before higher, right? And that's exactly what you want to play, right? You want to play these rotations and be patient. And I think it heads lower still before it heads higher. But essentially, if you are just dollar cost averaging in, does it really matter?
Yeah. I mean, I like it here. It's respecting the technicals on the US dollar pair right here, the 1.618. And then at the same time, I think it looks pretty good on the Bitcoin pair as well. So this is Caspa BTC. I'll clean this up a little bit. It likes to do this like 65-day reaccumulation, and then it starts to perform well. So previous 2 times, 65 days, then it performs well. Oops.
So
And
basically, people sat in it for no reason and ate the downside.
Well, I mean, it's not like it was 600 days, right? It was like a couple months. So, and by the way, I've been accumulating Caspa, in here in this bottoming region towards the end of the 65-day bleed. So, my point is that I think that the worst for the Caspa BTC and Caspa ETH pairs are behind it. So, I would expect it to start performing well and probably do this. And then
Max,
Caspa
I
ETH,
tagged you on Twitter if you want to
same
go pull that
exact
up.
thing, 65-day bleed, then it performs well. So, look at when I rotated some ETH into Caspa right here. I mean, it's still up a little bit, but I would expect it to continue to outperform Bitcoin and ETH, which is really what I'm concerned with. That's my only objective mainly. You tag
It's
me in
a
something, Will?
Yeah, if you could pull up the Twitter post I just tagged you in, I would greatly appreciate it.
What is it? Oh, it was you admitting defeat on Caspa.
Mm.
At what price? What price, Max?
Why do you want me to pull this up? You being wrong about Caspa.
No, because you said I've been bearish the whole time.
No, he said you faded.
I called it from the 2 cents
I
to the
wouldn't
5
say that
cents. Then I
admitting
said at
defeat.
top.
I wouldn't say that admitting defeat on something constitutes you flipping bullish, because you didn't flip bullish. You just said you were wrong about it going down.
Well, I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in Caspa. I think there's better plays.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, I am interested in it, and I think it's a good project. So I'm here talking about it. That's it.
Okay,
fair
all
take.
right, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just I at the end of the day, I don't marry any of these coins. I don't marry none of them. I move
It's
on.
Dude, if you think that
Right.
I won't sell my Caspa above, $1 or $2 or $3, like, I'm not married to any crypto. The only one I'm married to is Bitcoin at the end of the day, as of
No, but
right.
I think a lot of daily Caspa askers are married to this coin.
Dude,
Yeah, that's true.
there's people married to every coin, man. I mean, Caspa
That's true.
definitely, but that's the thing, dude. It is a committed community is a bullish thing, not a bearish thing. At this phase of the market cycle, it's a bullish thing. You don't
To a
want you
degree.
don't want a community jeeting its bags before the bull market even happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, no. Look. It's always good to have a cult, but there's a scenario where it becomes extreme, right? And there's only a couple of coins I've seen become very extreme. Luna being one of them. Celsius being
And
another one.
and Will, how much did Luna go up roughly before everything went to shit?
I mean, I watched everybody lose everything to it.
No, Will, but that's not what I asked. I said, Will, how much did Luna go up before everything collapsed? And by the way, I hate this comparison that
It's
you
a
bring up all the
terrible
time of
comparison,
Caspa to Luna.
bro.
It's the worst comparison of all time, bro.
No,
It
I'm
actually
not.
doesn't make
You
any
guys,
sense fundamentally.
you guys are talking chart. I'm talking sentiment, right? People talking about putting net worth into anything is just the dumbest take ever. It's
But
literally
dude,
makes
people
no
do that with
sense.
Bitcoin. Like, people do that with Tesla stock. Like,
I
that's
don't
not
agree with
exclusive to
that.
Caspa.
I don't agree with any of those scenarios. I would
Will,
never put
you're
100%
literally
of my net worth into
arguing right
anything.
now that a cult community in crypto is a bad thing.
No, I'm not. I'm arguing that you have a bunch of people who are overexposed. That's what I'm arguing.
I think what Will is trying to say that I suppose is that the hardcore Caspa community members will just hold their backs through
Yeah,
the
so
bear
what's going
market.
to happen is Caspa is going to go to 100 billion market cap, and then it's going to retrace 70%, which would bring it still back to a higher valuation than where it's at right now. And he's saying that 2 years from now, when it global tops, people are going to be stuck bag holding. Insert community here. That's literally
The
every
next
crypto
Luna
project.
is going to be Celestia and all the ETH staking stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I had a tweet about
that's
this
gonna be a
yesterday.
nightmare.
It's like
But
everybody has incentives to stake all their bags for the promise of free money, which will be great, and as long as stimulus is coming in. But eventually, they're just going to be trapped staking with the promise of future airdrops that are just increasingly diluted at that point. But I mean, we talked about this last week with Luna. I mean, it's the low float mechanism, like Ponzi-nomics almost, that lead to more favorable staking yields, more loyal holder base. It can lead to super aggressive price appreciation. It just it's doubly reflexive in both directions. But timing is always, obviously the most difficult thing about this market. A lot of these trends can stretch much longer than we think that they can before they top out on a higher time frame.
Yeah, but there is one thing that Max said that I want to point out because I think it's a good point of discussion. And that's Max said, hey, I'm long here, but I'm not going to hold my back through the next bear market, right? And like I believe that in Max case, but I see so many people saying this, other people that are not experienced. And they say, hey, I'm gonna, I'm buying here for the bull market and then I will sell. And what actually happens, again, this is not Max case, I'm pretty sure, but for many people, they say that right now, but then when Caspa is going to go, to $1 or something, whatever that number is, they will not do that because they will be
Exactly, Jackus.
they will
Dude,
be
why? What is that?
wait,
Will, dude,
wait, let me finish.
dude, Will's
So
literally, dude,
wait,
Will, I like can't get through to you on this, man. It's
Jesus.
like I feel like I'm yelling at like a scarecrow right now, and you just will not fucking relent. I
Be-
cannot get through to you.
Max, you're saying 70% drawdown.
Come
Almost
on,
all the
guys.
alts
Dude,
went
you're literally
99%.
talking, Will, you're literally talking about how a cult community in a sound project is bad and justifying it that 2 years from now, after it goes to 100 billion market cap, people will still be bag holding.
There
That's
is no
every crypto project,
there's
dude.
no
All
scenario,
right,
Max.
I have
Bro,
admin
That
you
we
rights.
can
are
assume what's going on
I
out
have to
there.
mute both of you now so that I can finish my talk. And you guys need to chill out and then finish your arguments with calm head and logic and not emotions, right?
Oh, I love that.
Uh,
I love that Max that he couldn't hear anybody, and then immediately Will started arguing with him.
yeah. I mean, okay, listen. So just to finish my thought, and guys, when you are back to your arguments, please keep it calm. All right. So lots of people say that they will sell when the bear market comes, but the problem is that they say that on both the bear side and bull side. And let's say they buy here, Caspa goes to $1, but when it hits that, they will say, "Oh my God, it's actually so revolutionary. Everyone is jumping on this. Why would I sell here?" And that's exactly the time you get a sell. And what ends up happening is that most of these guys do not sell. Right now, Caspa is at 1 cent. So let's say it goes to $1 and it then does a 90% correction, which is very normal. That's back to 1 cent. So they will actually end up back holding their
99%,
back.
but go ahead.
Yeah, whatever that now again, whatever these numbers are, right? But what actually happens is that these people end up back holding. And I'm not arguing any of your guys' arguments here, just saying like what I see happening. And they will and then when that pullback comes, they will G their backs when they bought, and then that's the next cycle. And they do the same on the way down, right? They will say, hey, I'll buy BTC if it drops back to 20K. Then it drops back to 20K, and they will say, no, I'll buy at 10K, and that never comes, which is like the equivalent of the bull market. They'll say, hey, when Caspa hits $1, I'm gonna sell my bags, and then they will be like, okay, it's at $1, I'll wait for $2, and they'll never sell. It does minus 99%. So be like, I'm very sure Max is playing this one right. He's DCAing it right now. Very good price, very good time of the cycle. I'm sure he's gonna be the responsible, but I'm not sure of the vast majority of the people out there. Anyways, now you guys can cook yourself.
No, like Max, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I don't think there's a world where Caspa goes to $100 billion market cap. I don't think that's a possibility. So again, that's just my perspective. And then so let's entertain that. And let's say there's a world where that doesn't happen. And let's say it goes to 20 billion. And then it goes 99% down. You're below where we are. You are below where we are. So if your net worth in this, you probably lost your full 401k and everything if you hold this back down. And that's all I'm saying. Like that's not something I want to get involved with. I think there's better charts to play. There's newer plays to play. There's like Wabi says, new charts, right? I like fresh charts because you got more potential for upside. Just my thoughts, right? Just my thoughts. Everybody has their own opinion on things. I don't know. I don't know. I just have a different perspective. They had a really low valuation on launch. You got a lot of people that got in really cheap into this coin. There's going to come a point where selling pressure is going to exceed buying pressure because there are smart investors that are in this that are going to start dumping on people once it gets to a certain valuation. I think in the billions. By the way, I think it can easily make it in the billions, but I don't know how high in the billions.
It's in the billions. It's a 2 billion plus market cap right now. So
Yeah, I'm just saying, like maybe 20, 30, 40. I think 50 is achievable for a lot of coins out there. So that's a possibility. I don't see 100 billion. I don't see any reason for it.
yeah, I mean, look, why I'm attracted to Caspa is that it was a very fair launch. There's not VCs in it. Initially, it was CPU and GPU mining, and everybody had an equal opportunity to get in. They've taken a lot of the core Bitcoin principles and, basically just improved upon them. They've got a really solid team, and I think the
Well, even
technicals
at
look
50
good.
bill,
So even if it doesn't go to, even if it doesn't go to
100
100 bill, if we're just looking at these fibs here, it's sitting at 10.5 cents right now, give or take. That last fib is $1.25, man. I mean, that's still a 12x from here, which would take it to maybe a 30 bill market cap, give or take. So it's like, what are we really talking about here? Like, okay, so it goes to 30 billion, it pulls a 12 or 13x, and it's a good project. I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty good return, if you can size into something and it's not going to rug pull, in my opinion, that's really solid. That's all you can ask for is a fair, legitimate project that doesn't have a risk of a rug pull or, VC dumping, or major unlocks, potentially pulling a 10, 12, 13, 14, 15x. So it's like, I don't really see the issue. And I certainly don't understand the comparison to Luna at all. You've said it like 100 times. It doesn't make any sense,
I
man.
keep on saying it. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Not chart-wise, sentiment-wise, investor-wise, same size-wise.
Dude, how
right?
many projects can we list out there that have had cult-like communities?
Not that no, I do not see as many people talk about in any coin that their net worth in any coin as much as I do with Caspa.
ETH, Sol, Bitcoin.
I don't see any. Bitcoin's the only other one.
I don't know what your sample size is,
I mean,
Will, but something tells me it's not big enough.
I gotta agree with Will that people are the most all in on Caspa. Like they are not all in. There are not so many people all in on any other project than there are people all in on Caspa. That's like fair take. But I also agree. I also agree that there are many other projects that they have large communities, right? And yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, take your 12x
I see both
and
of
go.
your points.
Dude, I literally just came on here to talk technicals because somebody had a question. Like, I didn't, like, Will came in here talking about how it's Luna and shit,
and I gave you the reason.
No, but how is
but
how
your
is
reasons
having
are literally ridiculous, Will.
How
That's
is having a cult community bearish?
I didn't say it's bearish. I said that the way things
comparing
are
it to Luna is implying it's bearish. 100%.
Much higher. But yes, bearish in the end. I don't think it ends well, right? And so I don't involve myself with assets that I think don't end well.
What is exactly Will's point here? I kind of missed that.
Me too. I seem to have missed it as well.
So if I think, okay, so think of it like RR, right? Risk to reward. I think there's too much risk to reward. There's better plays with the same X's with less risk that I can play into the bull run that I don't have to speculate on.
Name a project. What is it then? What's less risk?
I can get the same gains with freaking ADA, and nobody's playing ADA. Nobody's talking about ADA. Absolutely nobody.
Dude, I don't.
I can get
insanity.
I can get the same gains with almost any L1 out there. Polygon, I think, will do the same X's. I think if you're looking at most L2s, they're going to do the same X's. I think L2s on Bitcoin are going to exceed well over 20, 30 X's. So again, it's all about your perspective and what you're looking at, and where you're placing your bets. I think in the NFT, Web3, gaming, so on and so forth, hundreds of X's, thousands of X's. Why would I get involved with a 12.5x on the hope that it can go 12.5x? With everybody talking about I'm net worth in this coin.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. We're at an hour 20. Guys, thanks so much for being here as always. Greatly appreciated. Before you guys leave, if you could quickly hit that thumbs up button for us and also subscribe to the channel if you are new here. This is Market Check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. We are live Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern time with this full cast. We talk price, we talk charts, we talk narrative, and just generally have a great time. So please consider subscribing to our YouTube, or I guess following us on X, because we are also live there. And then additionally, if you check out the first link in the description below, it will take you to our website, becausebitcoin.com/premium, where you can sign up for our premium Discord. And also to note, we are dropping a new product right around the Bitcoin halving called the BB Terminal. It's basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto guys. It is our new flagship product. We are very proud of it. We've spent a lot of time and money developing it, and we are so excited for its launch. When that does launch, it's going to be bundled together with our Discord and then a future Telegram. The price of the Discord is going to go up tremendously. I've already kind of leaked what the pricing is going to be to our current Discord. So again, if you want to get in that Discord right now for what I would consider to be a very cheap and fair price, consider locking yourself in and grandfathering yourself in forever as long as you don't cancel by signing up sooner rather than later, because again, when the BB terminal drops, prices are going to go up significantly. So we'd love for you to try it out. Again, the first link in the description below, becausebitcoin.com/premium. You can check it out. Also go on there, read some reviews, see for yourself. It's a really great experience. We do 2 hours a day of private live voice calls with the entire Because Bitcoin team and community. We have an active positions channel. We all have TA channels. Ultimately, it will help you find your edge. So definitely recommend you guys check that out. At least go to the website, read some reviews. But I'm going to kick it over to Tommy for a final farewell.
Thanks, Max. We have fun here, guys. That's why this show, there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. Sometimes things get a little bit heated. Sometimes we have arguments, but we always enjoy doing these shows for you guys. A reminder, we've got more programming for you if today or this morning was not enough. We've got Market Talk with the legendary King Wabi starting near 4:15, 4:30 Eastern time. And of course, we'll be back for another episode of Market Check tomorrow. Start time typically around 11 a.m. Eastern time. We are live every day. But yeah, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Happy Tuesday. Echoing all the things that Max said. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again for tuning in.
Tucker.
Salute.
There we go.